In the past few years, there have been few movie franchises that have been able to acquire such a solid fan base such as the Descendants franchise. Kids of all ages are drawn to the movies that revolve around the offspring of some of the nastiest Disney villains. Whether you're a fan of the daughter of Maleficent, Mal, or the squeaky clean son of Beauty and the Beast, Ben, here are some reasons why Descendants 4 are demanding a Part 4. Royal Wedding. Who leaves a movie where the main characters are engaged without an actual wedding? We're hoping Disney doesn't. When we last saw Mal and Ben, they were blissfully engaged. We're imagining that there would be a lot of ground to cover if Descendants 4 showed the lead up to the royal wedding, from planning to the guest list to the killer party, including what we can only imagine would be some killer musical numbers. Could you imagine if Hades walked Mal down the aisle, or how Maleficent would try to ruin the nuptials? It would definitely be the wedding of the decade. Sorry, William and, well, Kate. Next Generation. Descendants 3 opened the door for what could be an endless list of new blood in Eridon. Between Dizzy and Celia, Squeaky and Squirmy, there's a whole lot of room for some younger, fresher VKs. These younger characters have some really interesting backstories. It would be so cool to see how their stories would play out in future installments of Descendants. These movies could literally go on forever if they keep introducing new, up-and-coming villains turned good guys. And you wouldn't hear us complaining if they do. Uma and Mal, long-lost sisters? So where exactly do Mal and Uma stand? Their tumultuous relationship has been the feud of the Disney century, but why do we get the feeling that these two could join forces and be BFFs in no time? The times that these two have worked together as a team has shown that their powers are much stronger when they're together. But why would that be? A fun theory going around amongst fans is the possibility that these two powerhouses are actually related. While we now know that Mal's dad is Hades, we have no idea who Uma's father is. We know that her mom is Ursula, but what about dad? Is it a coincidence that these two VKers are the only ones who can transform into larger creatures? There's also Hades' Ember to consider. While he told Mal it wouldn't work at its full strength for Mal, it did work at full strength for Mal and Uma together. Not convinced they're sisters? Well, how about cousins? In the earliest drafts of The Little Mermaid, Ursula and King Triton were siblings. Hades happened to be Triton's uncle, which would make him Ursula's uncle as well. That would make Uma and Mal cousins. Imagine the power they'd have if they combined their powers on the Isle of the Lost. Back home. So what was with the ending of Descendants 3? Just like Mal's eye turning green at the end of D1, we're curious to know as to where that would even begin in a Part 4. The VKs were last seen running back across the bridge to the Isle of the Lost, so what's the deal? Is all forgotten? Will the kids try to persuade their evil parents to join the good side? Will the VKs turn rotten yet again? We need answers, people! Where's Maleficent? They can't just end the entire movie series without one more glimpse of a human Maleficent. Sure, Mal turned her nasty mother into a lizard, and that was great and all, but that should be water under the bridge that now connects Eridon to the Isle of the Lost. See what we did there? Why wouldn't Mal return Maleficent to her human form when she freed the villains? Or why wasn't Maleficent turned back into a human form when Mal took her back to the Isle of the Lost, where magic doesn't work in Descendants 2? Knowing Maleficent's temper, this can't be making her too happy, and revenge could be on the horizon. A great storyline for Descendants 4, no? AUDREY. As Eridon's resident mean girl, AUDREY may not be entirely to blame for her snobby ways. Seeing as how her grandmother, Leah, despises the villains, specifically Maleficent, it's no wonder AUDREY seems to be out to ruin the VKs. With AUDREY's absence in Descendants 2, there has been a lot of speculation about where she was. At the beginning of the movie, Chad takes a call from AUDREY whose car has broken down in Sherwood Forest. What was she doing in Sherwood Forest, home of Robin Hood? And was she really on a spa vacation with the fairies? Whatever the case, AUDREY definitely took a walk on the dark side, and we would love to see what she's got up her sleeve in a Descendants 4. Maybe a revenge collab with Maleficent. We can dream, can't we? Isle of the Lost renovation. While the people living on the Isle of the Lost were forced to live in poverty and cut off from the rest of the world, now that the barrier has been broken and the people are free to come and go on the Isle, they could definitely use an upgrade. Imagine a total Isle flip worthy of its own show on HGTV. The whole aisle can now be cleaned up and refreshed, unless the villains aren't interested in making everything nice and new. Perhaps they like things grimy and old. The only way to find out is to have a Descendants 4. We're talking to you, Disney. Coexisting. One of the major reasons fans needed a Descendants 4 is so we can see how this is all going to work out. With the barrier gone and a bridge connecting the good to the evil, what could go wrong, right? With the VK kids now free to attend Eridon Prep, the AKers and the VKers will need to learn to live side by side. Headmistress Fairy Godmother will definitely have her work cut out for her. Will the villains use the bridge to wreak havoc in Eridon? Will the good guys prevail and teach the villains how to live in peace? So many storylines, so little time. Mal and her daddy issues. Now that we know who Mal's father is, it's the perfect opportunity to explore that relationship. Hades believed that by not being in Mal's life, he was doing her a favor. But now that he's back, it would be so interesting to watch them make up for lost time and see how their relationship develops. Although Mal thought that Hades didn't care about her and abandoned her, Celia set Mal straight and tells her that Hades has always asked about her. We would love to see the two build a strong father-daughter relationship, and maybe sing some fantastic new duets. Who knows, they may need to team up to defend Eridon from a very angry Maleficent. We know we're not the only ones crossing our fingers for a Descendants 4 movie. Let us know if you're a true fan hoping for a D4, and tell us what your favorite Descendants movie moments are in the comments below. Hopefully, Disney is listening and we'll see you at the Descendants 4 premiere.